Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for week 37. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report. We have gotten to week 37. Last week we didn't have time. Our traveling schedule was quite busy, and that also means here we're going to have a look at a few of the things from the previous weeks also here, not just last week. There's plenty of things to go over again. One of the major things that actually happened in the past week here is now IG account mess. And what that basically means is that it looks like some of the account history within the IG demo accounts that we have set all our EAs up on has basically disappeared, and some of the accounts has basically added different types of currency pairs, new trades. That seems to have been cleaned up as it is already, but there is still a lot of our EAs. It doesn't really matter which one it is. It comes down to the IG demo accounts themselves and the account history in here. Unfortunately, also because of this, obviously FX Blue is reporting the same thing as the IG demo accounts does, and that creates some confusion for this particular week. I'm going to try and explain to you exactly what has happened through this video. We also need to have a look at Expert Forex and Alex, what exactly has been happening with him in the past couple of weeks here. We have a couple of videos that we have basically put forward. This is one of them. Again, some of the hedge results now that part of the storm of the Forex market seems to have calmed down a bit, and it looks like profit is coming in on a regular basis also here. Last but not least, there's actually a bit of an update on the Trillant platform itself. Looks like something is happening, and it's definitely about time where we're going to have a look at what that exactly is, what is coming out, and what has come out in just the last 24 hours from the management team itself. We're going to go through everything here today as usual. But we're going to start off with our friends at Yieldnodes just to check in on the platform and obviously also on some of the currency pairs and the staking that we have here. Unfortunately, we don't have any news out of Yieldnodes management team itself. Neither Steve or Urs has sent anything out. No weekly reports, no monthly updates here from Yieldnodes. All we have here is still our Yieldnodes platform in here, where last time we spoke about it was the audit coin reserves that you can go in and have a look at, and also here your Yieldnodes NFT. If you didn't bring it to your own wallet, you can see we have claimed ours, so that one is not lying within the platform. But if you didn't do anything back about 1 or 2 years ago now, then it would actually show up in here. So, and you can find it, but obviously still nothing can be done with it. So let's go and have a closer look and see how the SAP coin developed. In the past week, it has been in a slight decline again. We left it on the 2nd of September, so this is actually covering the past 2 weeks, and you'll see it has slowly but surely declined. We ended up last time around point and then 7 zeros and a 4, and now it's down to 0.7 zeros and then now a 3. So pretty minute changes, but obviously here things are still not going very well, and obviously until we get some kind of update, then nothing will happen. So we're going to jump over to the SAP coin and the staking in here. There has been a bit of a gap. Last time that we had it was 24th of August, where we got 280 SAP. Now here on the 10th of September, we actually got 280 in. So September is now on the chart down here to the right also. Good to see. But obviously we are already pretty much halfway through the month already, and we haven't only gotten this particular one in. So all it matters is for the past week, we got 1%, 280 SAP. And that will obviously be half of it if you are looking at the 2 weeks that we have covered on the coin itself. Going over to the PNY, also here, the previous week, we actually had one here on the 6th of September, and then another one here also on the 10th. So that was for the recent week. That means now September is well on the way, but also here halfway through the month. It is quite low at the moment, so obviously 266 overall is what we have received for the month of September. it is a bit low, but on the other hand, we are at the level of May, which was the lowest one we've seen so far. So let's hope we still have quite a bit to come. And if we look at the percentage itself, how much that would be, it's 0.6% for the week, where we got 133 PNY. So not really a massive change for the week. Bitcoin versus USDT. Also here, we're going back to the 2nd of September, just to make sure that you have caught up with what has happened. It was actually in a decline until we ended up on around the 7th. From there on, the trend was going upwards again, and we actually managed to get into the 60,000, only to have a bit of a retracement at the moment. And right now, as we are shooting this particular video here, it is trading around the 59,000 mark. So obviously good development in the past week. So if you were a Bitcoin holder, all the way down to about 52,500, and then all the way up there to 60. So there was good money to be made if you have been part of that particular trend. Now, I mentioned here earlier that there's some new Trillant news, and the newsletter just came out. And this particular one, I'll read this one out for you again here. So realignment of the Trillant and the T concept, important information. The last few months has been a challenging time for Trillant and our entire community. Well, I think it's a lot more than just a few months. We can almost say it's a few years. We would like to thank you for the continued support and trust. We are all the more pleased to share some important news with you today. There's a restructuring of Trillant and the T concept in here due to the ongoing challenges. We are now informing you that Trillant and the T concepts are undergoing a major transformation. This realignment is necessary to better prepare strategically for the future. Changeover, important update to follow. You will receive many important updates from us in the coming weeks. We ask you to follow this information closely to stay up to date. There will also be tasks that you will need to complete in order to successfully manage the transition. So once again, looks like a new platform, a new change, something in here. Obviously, not very many details right now. Moving on, and saying here the first step after this transition, things will continue in a new improved form. As a first step, please check in your Trillant back office that your KYC is up to date. Without a valid KYC verification, we cannot make any payouts for legal reasons. Make sure your details are up to date so that you can continue seamlessly after the changeover period. And then there's an announcement for a live call, which is obviously very much appreciated. A live call is already in preparation, it says. We will announce the date soon. Stay informed and make sure you don't miss the next newsletter. We continue to count on your trust and patience, even during this transition phase. And then the best regards from the Trillant team. So obviously, let's see exactly what is behind it. But what we can see is it looks like the 3 coin in here, which is the variable coin, again, has had some movements. We are going back again to the early September. So we are around 2nd of September where we left it last time. And we were at 0.40309. Since then, you can see it was trading pretty much sideways and flat. And after the news has come out, definitely there has been a spike in the coin itself. So it is obviously percentage-wise a massive one, but at the end of the day, we are still very, very far. At the time that we're shooting this particular video here, as you can see, it is still at 0.40835, and we'll have to see some real hard facts if there is a change, or if this is just more hot air and speculation out of the Trillant platform. Now, I mentioned earlier on also when we started the video here that IG has some account mess to clean up. I'm just going to show you this before we're going to go through all the different EA and robot profits today. So one of the copy link service parts was basically with Expert Forex and asking a few questions if this particular account here was also trading gold and other currency pairs. Obviously, we are not. We have our own setup with only one type of currency. As you can see, this particular one is Swiss francs Japanese. And it's also the Wave Liberator in here. It doesn't really matter what's EA, so it has nothing to do with the EAs. Again, I have emphasized that quite a few times. This is the account history that we'll see on the MT4 platform. And if you notice here, just before the red line, you can see on the 7th of August, we have our last entry in here, and the next one is 9 September. And at the same time, I highlighted that period also on the graph above here in red. And as you'll see, there is actually plenty of trades that has taken place, but they are no longer on the account itself, which is obviously quite scary. I have, however, I have to also just let you know that none of the real accounts or actually the demo accounts in here that has been trading has been affected, that it started to trade different new currencies. That is not really the case. We are only talking about some faults in the account history. The live trading, everything else has not been affected, so you don't have to panic over that. It is simply just some account issues going backwards in history in here that has shown up and obviously made a big mess out of it. We had to make sure here again over the week that none of the accounts started to add additional trades in here that we didn't want it to, and obviously it hasn't done so. So everything is okay and secure and safe, but obviously very, very annoying that we now see we have some gaps in our account history, and you will see how that actually affects it as we go through the entire EA and the profits for the week. There will definitely be some discrepancy in there. It might not be the final number, because it is difficult to compare when we have more than 60 EAs running on all these and try and go through every single account. But it looks like none of them have taken a loss or a hit, so that is good news. We're going to start off with the Trade Explorer in here. The 10 pair one did only a slow profit of $181 or 1.8% for that particular week in here. And if we go and have a closer look at the FX Blue, which of course reflects the account history with IG, we can see that the balance is actually okay. The equity is also okay. And so is the floating profit and loss. But all the stats that you'll have down here with the total returns, the monthly returns, weekly returns. So that has definitely taken a hit. Also the trade wins, everything else that you'll see here. Because again, there's a range of trades simply missing or has been incorrectly posted. And we can see the account history is still okay with 419 days. You'll notice that we have this flat plateau up here, which is not something that we ever had before. We have a nice little progression all the time, and that's because of the data is actually missing on the individual accounts, and the FX Blue can obviously not produce something that IG has basically removed. Again, here, these numbers are not the correct numbers around here. And if we have a closer look for the past week, this is what FX Blue is telling us here at the moment. But if we also have a closer look at what we have previously reported, so the right-hand column is currently the one that is on IG demo in here. The left-hand one is all the numbers that we have produced so far and should be the right ones up until the 25th of August. But you'll see that there are some discrepancies in between the two columns in here. That is the issue that we are experiencing at the moment. So things are either too much or too little. But if we're going all the way down to the 28th of July, you'll see that all the numbers are basically matching. So this is only a recent fault that popped up in here. Let's go to the Wave Liberator for week 37. And again, also in here, looks like Aussie Japanese has done quite well. $96, 9.6% just for that week. Aussie USD, $67 or 6.7%. New Zealand Japanese, $64 or 6.4%. Aussie Swiss francs, $62, 6.2%. And last but not least, New Zealand CAD, $57, 5.7%. So you can see there's a good balance of all the individual ones, even though we have 3 Aussie for that particular week in here. Total amount for those 5, if you would have traded those, was $345 or 6.9% for the week. And that is definitely very, very high and a good profit overall. Now we're also going to have a look at that portfolio itself. You'll notice on the graph again, this has always been a very smooth one. We did have a bit of a hike up here when the Forex market went totally crazy. And now you can also see the data here with the flat plateau. Again, is because it is simply missing for some of the individual EAs. But the balance, equity and floating profit and loss is actually something that we can rely on. Some of the other things is simply not there. Total returns, yes, it's 15.2%, but it should be a bit higher. Also the monthly profits. So it is normally in the same area all the time, 1.2, 1.3, and weekly returns of 0.3%. And at the end of the day, history 394 days, so quite a lot of history now. We have long since past 1 year for this particular one. Now you can go and have a look on our website on the individual accounts. Also here, obviously, when you go to the currency pairs, you will still see discrepancies. Some of them are missing a few weeks. Other ones are missing an entire month for this particular one. But, and that's also why you can see it, it's reflected in the graph overall. Same thing here, if we have a closer look at it again. So this is the same graph. You can see the plateau. Things were doing quite well up until here. Then all of a sudden, it looks like we lost the history data. But again, for the week, it looks like around $745 was actually cashed in, which is a nice and reasonable level. It's a bit higher than what we have seen before. But when there was high waters, so with the Forex market of 14 and 1700, you can see things have come down again quite a bit. And if we have a closer look, you'll also see there are some discrepancies again in between what we have reported, which is on the left-hand side over here. You can see good steady progress. And if you take that into account lately, then 745 is obviously the lowest one. It has been since end of or mid-July in here. So definitely you can see some of the dates comes from the 21st, some is changing from the 28th, and it all sort of depends at the end of the day. Now, if we have a closer look at the RSI Liberator in here for week 37, the top 5 EAs, starting off with the Swiss francs Japanese going $56 or 5.6%, Aussie CAD $44 or 4.4%, Aussie Swiss francs $40 or 4.0%, and then Great British Pounds USD $39 3.9%, and New Zealand Japanese $36 3.6% overall. Again, good steady, and pretty much all of them are cashing in quite nicely at a lower level, however, at $215 or 4.3%. For the past week, still very, very high percentage. Also here we see the same flat part. So this one here is bigger because the account has not really run so long. Again, it's 22 accounts of 10,000 and it's from 220,000 now up to 233. We can see the equity in here. There is a floating profit of loss of about minus 9,000, but it's still doing quite well overall. And also here again, total returns, monthly returns, they are not to be counted right now because of the individual weeks of some of the currency pairs here. That is simply missing from IG history, 163 days. So we are now getting up to half a year on this particular account, and you can see all the different currency pairs that are being traded. So this particular account is also doing quite well. And same as with the Wave Liberator, you can go in on the RSI, you can click the individual currency pairs, have a closer look, and you'll also see that some of the data are missing on pretty much every single one of them again. So it is a bit of annoying. And when you look at that, you can see the flat curve again up here. What it looks to be for the weekly profit is 406 overall from the portfolio in here. And if you try to then adapt that to what we had previously, so again, the numbers also here reflects from the 28th of July, seems to be a discrepancies ever since. This is what we reported on the left-hand side again. So the week before, we were all the way down to 143. And now you can see it's up to 406. So also here, some of the profits has actually come down again, the waters of the Forex market. has actually eased up a bit. And this is more reliable monthly or weekly profits that we have in here, similar to what we had in the past before everything went crazy here in July and August. Now you can find a lot more details, of course, as usual, on our website, both for the Wave Liberator and the RSI. And we also have to go through the PAMM account, of course. And the numbers also look like this. Again, this is the FX Blue section, and this particular account has not been having any issues when it comes to the IG, because obviously it runs on the Black Bull one, and that is completely separate. The FX Blue has nothing to do with this, and you can see that the profits are going up quite nicely. The weekly and monthly returns, again, for the FX Blue, unfortunately, is not reflected 100% other than the history, 202 days, because we had about, in the past 2 weeks, about 17,000 that was taken out. So just to get the investors their profits back, which is obviously something that we encourage from time to time. But unfortunately also, as you'll see in the past two big notches in here, this was 50 and 60,000. It looks like the account took a hit. It doesn't really do that, and it ends up instead showing down here that we only made $1,633. But that is because when the investors are taking their profits out, it simply also disappears here on the FX Blue accounts, which is obviously a bit annoying, but we fully understand that this is part of how the PAMM account works. And that's also why we are trying just to show you some of the details from our account based on all the PAMM accounts that they have with Expert Forex. So here we have the minimum investment, the age of days, 194 in here. And overall on the PAMM accounts, there's about 567,000. So this is normally a couple of days after. It doesn't get updated on a daily basis. In the PAMM account that we had, it's around 277,000 at the moment. And overall gains that has been from all the accounts is 114,000. We actually stand for 68,000 in here. So basically more than 50%. And then also gains, average gains is about 20%. Our account here is up to 24.6, showing again the account is doing extremely well. Overall drawdown 104, where ours is at 68. So we are taking a bit more than the 50% in here at the moment. And then drawdown in percentage. Average, we have a few accounts in there that is up to about 35%, I believe, at the moment. Ours is running at reasonable and still in green levels, 24%, and obviously still cashing in quite nicely. Net gains is there, and obviously our net gains has just gone down a bit here also for some of the profits that has been taken out, but it's still looking good. We are quite happy with the development, especially after the last 2 months of mayhem in the Forex market. Now, obviously, you can find more details both on the Trade Explorer, the money tree that we are not really covering in here anymore, and also the Lucky Trader. The Lucky Trader is one of the newer ones from Expert Forex. So let's go and have a look at the numbers in here. New Zealand USD actually made $393, or 3.9% for the week. Euro, Great British Pounds, $250, or 2.5%. So those did quite well. Then we have Euro USD, down $55 only, or 0.6%, and then Euro Swiss francs, $53, or 0.5%. We only have the 4 accounts left. The rest actually blew up, and I have shown that in previous parts because we had a very small gap size in here. That's what, at the time when we were testing them, that looked good. Total amount, $751, or 1.9% for those top 4 in here. So obviously still going strong, but we have to make some changes when we're adding new EAs in here in the future. Also for this particular one here, you'll see that the Lucky Trader looks like all of a sudden things has turned down. After we took some losses, they are actually gone on the FX Blue side. Again, this is because of the IG demo accounts has deleted some of the account history in here. Then things look all of a sudden a lot better. on the balance and equity and the floating profits in here. What you can count on again is the 90-day history, but it looks like the Great British Pounds USD and US CAD that actually crashed can't be seen anymore in here. And if we have a look also on the graph itself, you can see 750 was actually made from the lucky trader in here. But when we compare what we had in the past, so this on the left hand side again is what has been reported. You can see the losses we had in mid to end of August. And now when you're having a closer look at how it looks with the IG account mess in here, it looks like all of a sudden some of these numbers have completely gone missing. But all we can say is basically we believe that 750 is pretty much the correct number. Again, we don't exactly know 100%, but let's see if IG can get this fixed very, very soon. Now, if we go to Alex and just to see what he has done on his videos here, he's talking about the Edged EA and the results review goes in here of what has actually been managed in the past couple of weeks. And I know that there was a lot of these accounts also that got into deep trouble and drawdowns here during the Forex storm. And now it looks like it's doing better. And that's basically what this particular video is all about, where Alex goes through the individual accounts. He also has a new video regarding the free multiple moving average course. And he likes to set these training courses up. So that is an opportunity also to learn a bit more about the moving average, how you can see which directions things are actually going and which settings to actually use. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, our EAs is working quite well. Unfortunately, yes, at the moment, it looks like some of the account reporting itself within IG is still a bit of a mess. We hope they're going to clean it up. And that is also why we had some issues, obviously, of updating our website. Normally, we do that on a weekly basis, providing all the latest data and details, but it's pretty impossible with the account mess at the moment with IG. So we hope in the next couple of weeks that we can get everything updated. We can get back everything that we had prior in here so that, again, you can see our full progress. But obviously, there's other things also, good things. Is our PAMM account here is running quite well. That is not affected at all on this particular part here because we are not running anything with IG. We are, of course, still having some issues from time to time here when people are taking their profits out, which is actually something we encourage. But then they also basically take the entire account profits out, and that seems to be lowering again what is actually the income. It's very difficult to calculate. And also because that every single investor in here have different results, it becomes even more difficult. But as you can see, the graph is going in the right direction. It continues to be very positive. And we have made upgrades and updates also here based on the changes in the Forex market in recent months. So it's going to be hopefully very interesting to see in the next couple of weeks. And you will obviously see that first here on our news report, how that develops, and if there's any new trends coming in the weeks forward. So until my next video, see you around. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.